Hi, I'm Stephen Ambrose, president of Azius Technologies and inventor of the wireless in-ear monitors recently featured on American Idol and in use on rock stages since the 70s. I'm here to introduce to you today another technology and discovery called the Ambrose Diaphonic ear lens. Above this screen up here we have the self-inflating Ambrose Diaphonic ear lens, or Adele, which fits itself to the ear canal and holds on cloud-like until you take it away and the coupling device retracts and hides itself out of the way. Probably the most significant aspect of this new technology can be seen here in this video otoscope, which is looking down an ear canal tube which is sealed at the end. This is not a tympanic membrane, we'll look at that next. And it's being driven by this earbud and this personal listening device. Right now there's a signal going through. Let's see what happens when we play music through it.
Hi there. I'm on my way, I'm making it. I've got to make it.
So you can see this membrane is absorbing the pressures generated by this earbud in this simulated ear canal. And the motions are quite distinct. Now what happens when these pressures are sealed in the ear canal is quite interesting and a new discovery. So let's take a look. This is a conventional ear tip which I'm sealing in my canal, and we'll focus on the eardrum or tympanic membrane. Right here you can see the middle ear bones. Play that same signal in the ear. Now in a metronome signal, you can see quite distinct motion here, which is on the order of microns. Those are huge motions for the tympanic membrane and very small motions for the speaker. They're quite distinct. These are glitter specks deposited on my eardrum to reflect the light and show the overexcursions. These are the pressures which occur when sound is sealed in the ear. Now if we take the sealing ear tip off and look at the same canal, we notice it's no longer moving visibly at all. So the sealing of sound in the ear canal causes great pressures which cause the tympanic membrane to move on the order of microns instead of its normal motions, which are on the order of nanometers, which is billionths of a meter. Microns are 1,000 times greater. All right, I've been asked to show the function of the Ambrose Diaphonic ear lens in absorbing the overexcursions impinged on the tympanic membrane. So let's go ahead and put this in my ear canal. And you can see these motions here. And we'll focus on the eardrum. And we can see that this motion, which was so great that we had up here, is now gone. Let's switch to the metronome. And we see that the membrane is absorbing these overexcursions. The Ambrose Diaphonic ear lens has been attached to this earbud ear tip. These are quite popular earbuds. And I've lifted the skirt on this one, and you can see here moving in and out. That absorbs these high pressures that are generated when sealing a speaker in the ear by an ear tip. It hides under the flap of the generic ear tip and goes in the ear and acts just as the device on the otoscope to absorb the overexcursions of the tympanic membrane. Now, what does this mean? When the eardrum moves much farther than it should, it triggers the ear's protection, which is known as the acoustic reflex. This protection, you can see the motion there again. Put it on a sine wave, the motion is just as distinct. Those motions are enough to trigger the ear's protection, which is the acoustic or stapedius reflex, that turns the hearing down significantly. With all the recent concern on the news about audiologists imploring us to listen to our personal listening devices at lower levels, it's understandable when these pressures are generated in the ear. What isn't understandable is why we would have to be told to turn down. Well, that's our discovery. The reason is that the stapedius reflex already turns down the music, and as I discovered mixing for many artists for years on stage, if you then turn it down again, you don't hear the music that you wore the device to listen to in the first place. The significance of our device is that it absorbs these overexcursions and doesn't trigger the stapedius reflex by our measured testing devices, and results in lower volumes sounding much, much louder and much, much brighter, clearer, with a deeper, more resonant bass, because now the eardrum is not being held still by this reflex trying to absorb sound. So this is the Ambrose Diaphonic ear lens, and it's just worn like any earbud in the ear, and it results in the lower volumes being recommended today sounding much louder, and yet not harsh and not overpowering, and you don't get the booming in your head, and your voice doesn't boom in your head either. So this is a new breakthrough, and it's a way to have the recommended listening volumes sound more than loud enough without the audio fatigue and with much clearer fidelity. Thank you.